Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Precious Metals Investor. And I'm joined by my collector associate slash friend Jay, who's the cameraman today. And we're looking at a collection of silver coins. We have silver bars in front of us. Those are the 10-ounce bars right there. We also have the silver rounds. You'll see we have some Buffalo rounds. And then we also have a Krugerrand in front of us. So the Krugerrands are one of my favorites, I'm not going to lie. That is a beautiful piece. Has a chain on there. I believe it is 14 karat gold, if I'm not mistaken, Jay.
It is.
And then we also have, inside of this, we have the 1/10 ounce gold coins. Those are a beauty. They're a lot smaller in person. You might go online and see the picture, but when you actually get them in the mail, they're pretty small compared to the 1 ounce coins. But then we also have this 1/10 ounce or dime silver pieces. You'll see we have some Kennedys lined up in here as well. Those are going to be the $50 pieces. And then we have the Silver Eagles. Now, that's a good place I think we can start, is going over the difference between a Silver Eagle, which is what Jay is touching right now, versus the rounds. Because there's a significant difference in terms of the premium that you're going to pay with one of the silver rounds versus one of the Eagles. And it is substantial. So right now, Silver Eagles, I forget off the top of my head, I'd have to probably go look online. But I think it's trading at what, $35 or $40?
$38.
So
That might be 35, depending on what dealer you go with. But the last time I looked, they're way up there.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. You know, when you think about the price of Silver Eagles versus one of these right here, you have the Buffalo rounds, and then you also have some of the Morgans. And you have these generic silver rounds. You also have the generic 10-ounce silver bars, which actually these were imported from Italy, which is pretty cool to think about, just the fact that it came from Italy, I suppose, even though it's all the same. And so that's the important thing to remember.
Yeah, silver, right?
Silver is silver, exactly. And so when you're looking at the, Silver Eagles, which I remember back in 2015, 2016, folks, these were trading at $17 or $18. You could go down to your coin shop. There is a $1 or $2 spread. The spreads on these has become substantial, and the reason is because the U.S. government is not minting nearly as many as they used to. But when we're looking at the silver rounds, these are in abundance, but you're still getting 1 ounce of silver either way. And so, for example, these Buffalo rounds right here I got for about $25. These Morgans, roughly the same, 25, 26, I forget off the top of my head. And the 10-ounce bars are the same thing. So on a per ounce basis, you're getting much more silver for your rounds and your generics than you would be the Silver Eagles. Now, when it comes to gold, you'll see that we have the Krugerrand right here. These you can still get. I was looking online the other day. So depending on which coin shop you go to and if there's any sales or anything like that, those are roughly $1,800 to $1,900 on a given day, depending, of course, also where gold is trading at. There's various things to look at. But the Krugerrands are a great way to, if you're looking at gold to invest in. I love the Krugerrands. The design on it is beautiful. And of course, with this piece, we have this special chain as well, which is made of 14 karat gold. So it's kind of just a way to spice up the collection there with that chain. But Jay, do you have anything to add in terms of what we're looking at here? Did you have any comments or anything?
Yes. The silver that you're looking at right here, the generic and the bars, are 0.999 silver. So that's pure silver. However, the Kennedy halves, which are referred to as junk silver, the old stuff that stopped in 1964, is only 90% silver. So it's got like a composition of copper and other elements that keep it from getting scuffed up. And they quit making those back in '64. And those are, there's a premium on those two. Junk silver's going away, and I got a hold of some of these. I bought a $10 bag. I got a good deal. I was happy with the purchase, but the premiums are getting crazy on the junk silver now, along with silver itself. Everything is going up. Again, Drew mentioned the industrial uses of this stuff, I believe, and everything is compounding. And I think that you can't go wrong with silver if that's what you're looking to purchase, and hedge against inflation and save. If you have a 401k or you got money under your bed, well, you might want to consider doing something like this, and don't put all your eggs in one basket, as we have not. Okay, we have decided to go ahead and expand our realm, or expand our horizons here, and
Yeah.
but we're stacking. We are stacking. Drew, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, putting a portion of your net worth into precious metals. I personally think of this as God's money. When you're looking at back in biblical times, even going back to thousands of years ago, the Chinese, pretty much any civilization you look at, silver and gold were the currency. Silver and gold were the currency, of course, until 1971. I'm sure if you're into stacking, you probably already know that. But when it comes to stacking gold and silver, you are stacking real money. This is real physical currency that has been in existence for thousands of years. People will say, "Oh, gold is not currency," and all these sorts of things, which I personally, strongly disagree with, because they've been money for thousands of years. But the one thing I want to talk about here, when we're thinking about silver versus gold, like right now as an investment, I think it's very important to look at the gold to silver ratio, which, if you look at the closing price of gold versus silver, we can actually do the math. And all you're doing to calculate the gold and silver ratio is you are taking the price of gold, which was $17.65 at the close on Friday evening tonight. You take that $17.65 number and divide it by $21.73, and the ratio on an ounce of gold versus 1 ounce of silver is currently 81.2. Okay, so that is substantial in terms of historically. If you go back before the dollar came off the gold standard, there's several charts, and you can look back at the silver to gold ratio, 20 to 1, right? When 1 ounce of silver really was a buck, right? You could actually take 1 ounce of silver and go down to the bank and get $1 in return. They had silver certificates. 1 ounce of gold was $20, right? That was the value of 1 ounce of gold. And then FDR took the dollar. He basically forced everyone to turn in their gold and silver at an exchange rate. I believe it was $20.67. So he was paying a little bit more than that $20 mark for 1 ounce of gold. But of course, once we actually came off the gold standard in 1971, that's when we saw the price absolutely skyrocket. But getting back to silver and gold and which one is better as an investment, I personally believe that silver has high industrial demand. We have a lot of uses for the silver market.
Absolutely.
And Jay, if you want to expand on that, I mean, I'm thinking of solar panels, I'm thinking of electric vehicles, and I'm thinking of all the use cases that are coming and already in use for silver, but will most likely expand substantially in the coming years.
Silver's been around forever. Back in the day, the ancient people would use silver goblets to keep their foods. They'd drink out of that. It was a way they used to stop the spread of germs. When the people came to St. Louis, Missouri, and went out west on the big gold rush, they would afford themselves a silver dollar and put it into their milk jug, and it would keep their milk from spoiling on their long journey to the west. And that branched off into they used silver nitrate in babies' eyes to keep eye infections from occurring when babies are first born. And now they have this stuff out called colloidal silver that is it's a antibiotic. They used to use it back in the old days, and it's not so big today. It's out there, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't they use it. You can find it online. You can research it, but you can if you have some maple leafs, the Canadian maple leafs, those are 0.9999 silver. That's the purest. That's the most refined silver out there. I have a couple of those, and you could actually make colloidal silver with the point. I would recommend the 0.999949 silver to make that happen. And that's out there. You can research that. And that's branched off today, as Drew has mentioned, into the solar panels.
Oh, yeah.
Silver jewelry is becoming more popular today.
Absolutely.
And silverware. People are purchasing more silverware, and they're hedging themselves and looking to find different ways to have a savings. So that's something you might want to consider, along with some gold. But silver is affordable.
Absolutely.
And as Drew mentioned, it's trading around, what was it? today?
The exact ratio is 81.2 right now.
81.2.
So essentially, yeah, 1 ounce of silver for 1 ounce of gold is going to be 81.2 ounces of silver. Okay. So historically, as I was saying, the ratio has been much lower, 15, 20, and right now it's at a very high level. So combine that with the industrial demand, you could see silver go to, let's say $100 per ounce. Now, gold,
Absolutely.
I think, could easily. I don't think people, a lot of folks who say silver can't hit $100 or $200, even $300 per ounce, don't realize that historically, going back to the 1970s, the equivalent of silver's parabolic run, I'd have to look at it exactly, but I know it went over $100 per ounce, and that's, looking back at the history of that and the price of silver in the past in the late 1970s and gold, they went on parabolic runs is the main point. And so we do have these bull markets in history where silver and gold do go on big runs. Back in 2008, all the way through the end of that crisis, 2010, 2011, silver and gold did fantastic because it was seen as a safe haven, and that's always what it's been. So you're not going to get rich overnight investing in silver or gold, but it's definitely something that I believe is a good way to save money with long term and to have a store of value, something to back you up in the event of an emergency or something happens where let's say in the future you need to exchange your silver for some land or for something else of value. Your silver or gold could do that for you if you're willing to find somebody who would participate in that transaction, which, like I said, silver and gold are real money. So that's the main point I'm trying to make. And do you have anything to add, Jay?
Yes, gold and silver are the monetary system of the world right now. Everybody's they're buying gold and silver. And if you decided to say you want to do an international travel or move to a different country than where you are now, wherever that may be, silver and gold are gladly accepted worldwide. I was in Korea and they accepted gold for me and they gave me a fair deal on the gold that I had. I come up pinched one time and I needed some money. I had some gold that I had, and the guy was very fair with his trade and no problem. Everybody knows gold, and silver was there also, but everybody loves gold. So that's another good point about having precious metals in your portfolio today. I think it's a wise investment and hedge against the uncertainties of our world as we are now, along with all the wars and the way the economies are going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just all the stuff that's happening, I feel a lot safer with what I have than I did just holding fiat money bills, okay, whatever they may be around the world.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew, I think anything else on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, to finish up the video here, folks, we were kind of talking about silver and gold and which one is the better investment. Me personally, I prefer investing in silver. Okay, like I said, the reason for that is because the ratio is so high right now. The industrial uses for silver will continue to grow. We're going to see continued increased demand. And also, one thing I did forget to mention is the COMEX, and the levels are dropping across exchange-traded funds. People are cashing out their silver, and there's less supply out there than there is demand. So there is a shortage of silver as we speak. These are verified numbers. We're seeing the real redemption of silver out of exchange-traded funds and all these paper products. People are getting the real thing. And the question is, of course, is there really enough silver in the vaults to provide all of the paper contracts? And my answer, I believe, is no. I personally believe there's
Good
not
point.
The paper contracts.
Good point.
They short and manipulate everything. I think I've read numbers, and of course this could be different, but 17 to 1 for every paper contract versus every ounce of silver. And so it's just something that I really don't want to hold myself or own. Because if you don't hold it in your hand, you don't own it. You might hold the shares in your stock market brokerage account, but if you don't hold the silver ounces in your hand, then you're not really investing in precious metals. Now, there are opportunities like Jay has invested in the gold mining stocks. He just bought one the other day. So there's obviously opportunities in the markets for gold and silver with stocks. But if you're looking for the real deal, God's money, the real stuff, this is it right here, folks.
This is the real deal.
And one more point I want to add before we close off here. I know this has been kind of probably a long video, but thank you guys for sticking
We're at
to the end of it.
14 minutes.
14 minutes, okay, not as long as I thought, but we're looking at the silver ounces here. So one thing I want to talk about is premiums. And, you know, these are probably going to be about $3 to $5 over spot, maybe $4 to $6. The Buffaloes in particular have some of the lowest premiums of any silver coin out there. Now, a good alternative to that would also be these Morgans right here. And then we also have the APMEX.
Why don't you pull those out? Just pull one of those out and let me just pan it.
Yeah,
And
sure.
just lay it down on the table and just pull the ones out you're referring to, and I'll pan those.
Okay.
All right.
Got the
and
Buffalo.
then there we go.
And we'll do the back end of the Buffalo here
Sure,
too.
sure. There we go. Let me see if I can get a
There's
good
the,
good shot at
Morgans.
this. Let's see if I can get a good.
So those are all generic rounds. They're going to carry a much lower premium than the Eagles, which are these right here. The Eagles are fantastic coins. I love the American Eagles, but like I said, guys, if you're just getting invested into silver, you know, this is the way to go. What Jay's showing right now, the rounds, just because the premiums are so high on these right now. I don't know if that's going to last forever, if the Eagle premiums will always be this high relative to the rounds. But nonetheless, right now,
I would
it's,
stay away from the silver Eagles that I'm showing you right here. They're just really high, unless you just have to have premium silver. A lot of these are just, they had a trouble with the mint. The mint was wanting to buy the silver planchets, the silver blanks to stamp their logo on for, they were looking for spot. It was like in the contract for the mint to purchase at spot, and they can't get anybody to sell it at spot, so they quit making them. And then all of a sudden the price just started going up and up and up and up and up and up, and like, it's like, oh boy, you know. And I said, I can't afford those anymore. And so I started looking around at the generic stuff, which I bought into big time, and that's the deal. The generic is really the way to go, but it's always, you know, why not? You might want to buy one or two. If, I mean, like I say, everybody's looking for some way to hedge their bet against inflation, and anybody can afford to go down to your local coin store, or even go online to some of the online dealers. But I recommend the local guys, and just support them. But go buy at least, you know, every time you get some money, extra money laying around, go down and buy ya a round of silver.
even one round is what, $25, $26. So that Buffalo right there, you can probably get right now. If silver's trading at $21 an ounce, which is where roughly it's trading at, you're probably looking at $25 or $26 for that. Which, you know, $4 to $5 over spot is not bad at all in today's market.
There we go.
So you have the Buffalo there once again, not bad at all. So any of the generic rounds you're looking at much lower premiums, as we've been talking about. And then you can start to diversify. Like what I've done here is I've built a good collection of coins, and now I'm starting to get into the bars. So once you build a good collection of coins, you can start to get into the 10-ounce bars, or even they have 5-ounce bars. And in general, you're going to pay a lower premium. I've seen these, if you know silver's at 21, you can get the 10-ounce bars a lot of times for $24, $25, $3 to $4 over spot on a good day. It just depends on where you're shopping exactly. I mean, it's going to be roughly probably $24 to $26 on average if silver's at 21, like where it's trading at right now. But still great deals on those coins, and that's probably as good as you're going to get right now in this market. So, Jay, any final comments before we close out here?
No, just thank you all for watching. And again, anybody can afford to go down and, instead of buying a movie ticket, go down and buy you an ounce of silver. And who knows, if it's going to go to 300, if you're buying it for 28 and it goes up to 300 next week, or maybe next year, I might be a little premature there, but they're saying it could go to 300. And I've heard even higher, but I'm thinking 300 with the ratio that it is now and the way things are looking at with the markets and stuff. I'm saying 300, at least 100. If it goes to 100, even 100, that's a substantial, 5 times what you bought it for.
Yeah.
Pretty well, a little over 5 times. That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting the Buffaloes for 25 and you can sell them for 100 or even $200, or I do believe it can definitely go to $300 an ounce if gold goes to 15,000, which.
Oh, I'm buying some property with mine.
Then,
I'm cashing out and getting
Yeah.
some land, but that's another story.
Absolutely, and that's not a bad idea. Like we were talking about, you can exchange the silver for land, or you could also, once the ratio comes down, you could exchange your silver for more gold as well. That's another idea.
Absolutely.
So you can always do these trades and
Or
exchanges.
gold, or the other direction.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
could trade your 10th gold eagle, and go ahead and buy that much silver.
Right.
If the market really gets crazy and the upside turns in the, I think silver is going to branch off and have its own little world here because of all the industrial aspects and the way it's going. That it's going to, I think there's a lot of potential there for it to really blossom.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and these are all great points, and I 100% agree. And I think the future is bright for precious metals. So you can invest in the physical metals. You can go to websites like moneymetals.com or SD Bullion, is where I got those 10-ounce bars from, was SD Bullion. Those links are in the description if you want to check that out. We're not affiliated with those websites, but we do buy precious metals from them because they're great and reputable companies. You're getting 100% legit silver and gold when you buy from them.
Absolutely.
But,
Yep, they're Better Business Bureau rated, and you can look at the comments. And every time I bought from Money Metals, it's always been packaged well and delivered. It might be sometimes a little late because of the demand of that, like those Kennedys. It took them a while to send them out, but I got a good deal, and I was patient, and but it was well packaged and well documented, and I was very happy with my purchase.
Absolutely. Yeah. And well, with that being said, guys, we want to thank you for tuning in to this video and watching all of this discussion about silver and gold. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are new around here, we talk about precious metals investing on this channel. We'll even get into platinum and also rhodium. I think will be an interesting topic because that is another one. It's very expensive, but it's an interesting commodity to talk about. So we'll get into some more of these topics. If you want to see more of this type of stuff, definitely tune in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. And thanks so much. We will see you in the next video.
Thank you.